I just talked for fucking 5 minutes and I hadn't pressed the. Okay, to paraphrase. I was very calm and 100% in defending, protecting, comforting Poppy, and pretty much interrogating him, but really calm and non threatening, but serious. As opposed to when he and I have our things, our bad times, where we have like this dance of, all the how shitty it can be between us. I start to fear him, like emotionally. Blah blah blah. I had no fear of him because he was so in the wrong, but I was sick with more than anger, fear, and like what is he capable of, and fear of his uncontrollable anger that comes out at times, and sick that he could do this to her. I have anger. She has triggered me. Like 6 months ago, I had a few incidences. I shook her by the shoulders. I pushed her. That hasn't happened at all since. But when I did those things, I felt like suicidal. Like, how could I do this to her? Da-da-da-da. So get the anger. But when I did those things that were really borderline not okay, because I felt rage and I could have gone further, but I stopped myself and left the situation. Okay, so I have some empathy for his rage. And what she did was they were playing rough, and she kicked him in the eye really hard, and it hurt him, and he slapped her 3 times in the face and walked away from her. Probably stop himself, of course, but with no words. No, like, I'm sorry, I have to be alone. Like, we'll talk in a few minutes. Like, anything. And I don't know where the fuck Nancy was or Michael because I forgot to ask that because I was so focused on this situation. So I don't know yet. So, so Poppy kept telling him what he did, and he kept apologizing, and it was kind of like going around and around. So I felt like I needed a summary. I thought Paul would start getting annoyed at having to explain himself and apologize. So I intervened and I was like, okay, guys, like, so you play really rough, and Poppy, you hit Daddy in the eye, which is very painful. But Daddy, you should have not hit Poppy 3 times. Poppy did not deserve to be hit 3 times or at all. So, my suggestion, actually, I'm telling you, you need to take a break from rough play because it doesn't seem to be good for either of you. And that's that. You're going to have to find another way to play. And Poppy's like, I love rough play. I'm like, I know you do, but we're on a break. You're on a break. Because if you're kicking Daddy so hard that he gets that mad and Daddy can't stop himself from hitting you, which is really bad, you can't play that way. And like Paul says nothing. Actually, he's like, I can't talk right now. I'm going to puke. And he goes into the bathroom and fucking pukes. And she's like, he's puking. And I was like, he's really upset about this. I think he feels really, really bad that he hurt you. and it's making him feel sick. And then she kind of like launched into crying again, like, he hurt me. It took him a while to get himself together. He comes out. He's like, I don't remember. He was just like, he's like, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. And I was like, why didn't you tell me? We talked about all kinds of things when you came home. Why didn't you tell me? He didn't answer. And when he gets home today, I'm going to ask him again. He was afraid. Did he think Poppy wasn't going to tell me? So eventually he leaves to go to the couch for his chill out time. And all this time, I had her on my lap and I was like holding her really tight, and she never squirmed. It was like she needed that. And then when he left, she like relaxed and like went on the mat next to me. I had been thinking about having her on the bed next to me, but she went to her mat. And I was like lying for a few moments, and then I went over, like I rolled over and like put my arm around her, and I was like, I will always protect you. I was like, if anyone hurts you, I will defend you. If you tell me that anyone hurt you or did something bad to you, I'll believe you. I don't think I said believe. I will trust you. I was like, I'm your mother. I'm here for you always, no matter what. Even if it's daddy hurting you, anyone, okay? You can always tell me if something is wrong. I will not get mad. It's safe to tell me anything that's hurting you or bothering you, scaring you, anything. And of course, anything happy and good. And she's like, I know, Mama, I love you. So, like, angelic. And we fell asleep holding hands. And it took me forever to fall asleep. I just could not sleep. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with him? Like, and I wanted to run out there and like have a drama, like confrontation, but it was late at this point. It was after 4. He had to go to jury duty. He's like on jury duty for a month. I'm like an hour away. So I just knew that would be fucking with him. That would enrage him. It would just be fucked up. He'd be like trying to sleep, and so I had to be mature and like not go out and strangle him. I'll probably do that later though. I hope I can keep my calm, because Poppy was influencing my calm. But I don't know what to say besides, why did you do it? You shouldn't have done it. You should have walked away when you felt yourself even on the verge of snapping. If it had gone that far, get away. Like, you've hit my arm twice with one time with a huge bruise, with a lot of antagonism from me. I don't blame you for snapping, but you snapped. You didn't get away before that point. And I've been there. I understand. But we're adults, and she's 6 and she's tiny, and you love her and she loves you and trusts you. Why did you let it get that far? And I don't want to hear that she hit you in the eye and it hurt really bad. That was the moment where you should have gotten away from the situation, because that's when you would have been in pain and anger. And okay, if I say that shit, which is true and right, like, it might be hard for me to keep the anger out of my tone, and that will alienate him because of his pride. He's very prideful. And he'll also be feeling shame and knowing I'm right. But he'll need to have a side to take, which will oppose me. I'll have to have his argument. I can't picture him being like humble and crying and like whatever. I don't even know what I want from him. You better stop doing that. Like, it's not like it's something he does regularly. It's shocking. He has told me that sometimes he gets too rough with her. What does that mean? I haven't ever really questioned that. But she seems like completely comfortable with him always. I don't know. And he's seeing his therapist again. And she's the one that wanted to call CPS for us giving her too much sugar and um, not letting her play outside enough in the winter when she didn't want to go outside. And she consulted with my therapist, who's like, no, CPS is not going to care about that. But then I was like, so I can't tell. And then I was like, maybe I should tell my therapist, but maybe this would be CPSable. I don't know. They're mandated abuse reporters. So they just got to make the call if something sounds like abuse. Um, and that's inviting a world of hell. I know CPS is very busy and they see a lot of really bad cases, but you just don't know with them. I've read a lot of, let's say horror. I've read horror stories. I've read a lot of different things about how they handle people and situations that are. It's like unpredictable. So whatever CPS, whatever. I'm like jumping into the future. Um, Okay, but the thing is the therapists don't feel completely safe to me to consult, and I don't know how to change him. I can't change him. I started reading about like men's anger this morning, and um, yeah, there's an article about neuroplasticity and pathways of the brain, and you could change your anger into being calmer and mindfulness techniques and commitment. Um, Most anger management is based in CBT, and this author is saying it doesn't go deep enough, and I don't know. I mean, he's got like a real anger. It seems so unresolved, um, un unexpressed. Like, I guess passive aggressive most of the time. Um, like slamming things, silent treatment, not complete silent treatment, but like mumbled monosyllabic treatment, um, having an angry vibe, not coming out and saying I'm angry. It's not. Kind of pisses. I mean, it pisses me off because it's hard to live with, and I had a fucking raging bull, man. I've got my anger issues. That's why I take 30 pills a day. That's why I go to therapy regularly, so I can be a mother who's not filled with rage and doesn't express her emotions ragefully. Um, he's witnessed the transformation. Or he should have. God, I don't know, 1430. Please, any advice as a therapist who's not gonna call CPS on my ass? Please. What? He frightens me. He's unpredictable. He's unknowable. I put it all out there and he keeps it all in. I have to go. Bye.